50 years being at the heart of the energy sector. We're going to talk about that and much more on this episode of The Crude Truth.
In 1901, at Spindletop Hill near Beaumont, the future of Texas changed dramatically as, like a fountain of fortune, thousands of barrels of oil burst from the earth towards the sky. Soon, Detroit would be cranking out Model Ts by the millions, and America was on the move, thanks to the black gold being produced in Texas. Now, more than a century later, the vehicles are different, but nothing else has truly changed. Sure, there may be many other alternative energy sources like wind and solar and electric. But let's be honest, America depends on oil and entrepreneurs, and if the USA is truly going to be independent, it has to know the crude truth.
This episode of The Crude Truth is brought to you by Oil and Gas Workers Association, Sandstone Group, Air Compressor Solutions, Basin Fluids, and the Fuel Pros.
Well, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Welcome to another episode of The Crude Truth, and thank you for listening, whatever time of the day it is for you, or watching this episode here on thecrudetruth.com. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and also please leave me 5-star reviews, or if you have any questions, y'all know how to get a hold of me. Please ask me any questions that you may have. Also, I am on Twitter nowadays at the Crude_truth. That's a handful, but that's my Twitter. So please take a look. And if my producer has it anyway, I may even be getting an Instagram soon, but we'll see what Chris has to say about that, my producer. So shout out to Chris. Well, hello again, and I'm just so excited to be here. What a whirlwind of an amazing day it has been. I actually have the opportunity today to have two of the top executives over at Hart Energy. I've got Jordan Blum, editorial director, and Manal Foty, the business development manager herself. Guys, how are y'all doing? And welcome to Fort Worth.
Doing great. Thanks for having us.
Great. No, thank you. Really excited to be here. We're conferencing it up all week.
Man, I almost feel like this is one of those late night shows where they're showing up either after the premiere or right before the premiere on like on one of those shows. Guys, thank y'all so much. Y'all, this is we're wrapping up the end of the conference, and you guys decided to come in, do an episode of The Crude Truth. Hopefully, it wasn't that long of a drive from the conference center, right? Yeah, for convention center. And when Manal and I, we've had an opportunity to talk, and it was like, y'all are here. I've got to get y'all in studio. Yes, because Hart Energy, I mean, in my teaser, you guys are literally in so many different aspects and different things going on in the oil and gas industry that I don't even think people know. In our pre-production meeting, Jordan, I was like, hey, what all is Hart? And we've got a list here. And I may name it off here in a little while. But I mean, for this list, let me just write it off. Hart Energy, Oil and Gas Investor Magazine. Y'all have y'all's great website. Then you've got the magazine Hart Energy. Then y'all do have y'all's own production company called Gotham Production. And then let's not forget about those daily emails that I don't know how many people get them, but I know I do. And it comes out at 5 o'clock in the morning and at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So you guys and what you guys are up to is just gigantic. And congratulations, first of all, on another successful Doug, and this one was actually the Super Doug. So thank you, Jordan, for coming in.
No, thank you. Yeah, it's our biggest conference of the year, Super Doug, that's developing unconventional gas. It's really taken on more of an oil tint, but we don't want to change the Doug name. Super Doug, it's our first time doing Super Doug and not just Doug Permian, because we're combining the top 5 oil basins, Permian, Eagle Ford, Bakken, Mid-Continent, and DJ Basin. Let me make sure I get all that. So we also still have our Doug Gas conferences like Doug Haynesville and Doug East for up in the Marcellus Utica. That one will be later this year up in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
That's our farthest away conference.
And you know what? I didn't even mention the Doug conferences that y'all have. And they're in the show. I think there was about a half dozen that y'all still have coming up this year.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And they're all different things. They're capital ones or executive ones.
ESG, carbon management, midstream focus, cybersecurity, you name it.
Yes, but I mean, and you guys have really started to. Y'all are a big company, but y'all niche it out in a way that really it's like, hey, this is this one, this is this. And I know I'm a Fort Worth guy, and tons of people were excited talking about this year's. I mean, you had companies throwing mixers yesterday, today, and it's like they're just they were prepared for you guys in this giant conference, and it hasn't disappointed yet.
Absolutely.
How much work went into this? If you don't mind, let's talk about that, guys.
I'm just along for the ride. I'm just happy I didn't fall off a stage moderating any panels. But yeah, it's a lot of work from, developing agendas, recruiting all the speakers, a lot of marketing, advertising, sales.
Business development side, it's definitely a lot of work too. Obviously, we want to fill the room, get everyone exposure, and have everyone network. Get some business. That's the whole point of these events, is make deals, build connections.
Well, let's you talk about the business development and networking. Let's kind of dive in a little bit here. Manal, how long have you been with Hart Energy? And let's go into your background in the oil and gas industry.
So I've been with Hart for a year now. Okay. I started in the industry with Neighbors Drilling. Was with them for 5 years. Got my experience more in the drilling sector. Worked in Midland in the field directly. Selling oscillating systems and tubular running services, motor rentals of that sort, and had the opportunity actually to get this with Hart business development from a podcast as well. So shout out to Flipping the Barrel, who
those ladies, I've never had the opportunity to meet them, but they seem very nice, and I've heard nothing but great
girls.
About them. Yeah,
they're great. So a connection on there, just matched on LinkedIn, and she helped me, get connected to the CEO and CRO, and was really loved the vision of Hart Energy and where it's going from there. So
awesome. And Neighbors, and that's no joke being out there in West
No, it's no joke.
Oh my God.
That's a whole different story.
Jordan, editorial director. Okay, I just named off a half a dozen things. That's a lot of reading, and I know I kind of made that joke during the pre-production also. Let's talk about you a little bit.
Yeah, well, first off, let me go back a little bit, just because we're in Fort Worth. I'm a TCU grad, so go Frogs.
Yeah.
Excited to be here. Old stomping grounds, love it downtown. So I'm I've been I was a political journalist for a while. 10 years as a political journalist, 10 years as an energy journalist. I've been in Houston for about 10 years now, with the Houston Chronicle, S&P Global, and I've been at Hart Energy, not quite a year, but super excited to be here. Love the vision, love everything we're doing. It's kind of just, I'm going to get into my spiel here a little bit,
Please do.
To kind of be the one-stop shop for all things, energy, not just oil and gas. We do a lot with renewables, energy transition as well. A lot of focus on, emissions reduction technologies, and we're doing a lot more global coverage too. We have like an international managing editor. We don't have necessarily reporters. We have freelancers all over the world too that are contributing. So, we really do want to be that kind of multimedia hub. We're doing a lot with video. You mentioned the production studio with conferences. Come to our website. You can read, you can watch, you can listen. Every article, has a listen option. If you're in your car, be safe, just listen. If you don't want to look at my face, you don't have to do the video. You can read. I have a face for radio and a voice for print. So I do what I can. But yeah, we got the flagship magazine, Oil and Gas Investor, and then almost a dozen newsletters, as many newsletters as we have conferences. So it keeps us busy.
Well, you talk about the newsletters. How many people subscribe to these morning and evening? Do you know?
It's over 100,000.
Oh yeah, well.
I don't know the exact numbers.
So Daily Wrap Up, for instance, has over 90K alone.
Wow.
It's over 100. No,
it's over 100
because we actually broke a cap, and there was a problem with the email was late because we had to adjust the cap for over 100,000.
Oh, you had to add a zero probably in the software.
Some kind of technical glitch there that it worked out fine, but
well, that's a good technical glitch to have, if I say so myself. That's a real good technical glitch. Wow. 100,000 people a day. Well, I'll do a shameless plug for you guys. If you're not gonna sponsor the Crude Truth, I think Hart Energy is where to go because you would be reaching near 200,000 people a day.
Absolutely.
I want to talk real quick, about y'all's, first of all, again, with y'all having y'all's own social media production stuff. Thank y'all very much for coming on. So thank y'all very much. But you guys and y'all's production is on point. All day on Monday, y'all were of the show. I mean, you weren't going 20 minutes without boom, something coming out. And that's important. It's like, what's going on? And I understand, it drives the people that are coming, that anticipation, and it drives people that can't come of, oh man, I'm missing this. But also, I think Chevron had some pretty big news yesterday that probably helped out as well.
Certainly.
Oh, yeah.
I want to highlight, if you don't mind, Manal and Jordan, could y'all just talk about some of the guests that y'all had on this year that were on panels? I mean, it was not a small little group this year.
No, absolutely. I'll let you take it.
Yeah, we've got ConocoPhillips, we've got Devon Energy, Double Eagle, we got the big privates too. We had our keynote speaker, General Wesley Clark, to talk about global energy security and geopolitical stuff with, China, Russia, everything else. We've got a lot going on.
Man, and that global stuff, I know, to me, that's very important. I feel like that's a whole other market, or that's probably really more for a whole other discussion because it's very important in my eyes as a small operator that we need to continue to do great stuff here in America, and that's what Hart Energy is really about. And I think it's great that you'll have international because it's not local anymore. I mean, and so you got to know what's going on in Dubai.
Absolutely.
Or as much as we don't like them, Venezuela, because they still produce a lot of oil. And it's like we all have cause and effect these days. And so I think you guys, again, that pulse that y'all have is ridiculous. What do y'all think was in each one of y'all's mind the best thing about this year's Super Doug 23, if you don't mind?
I've seen a lot of new faces. A lot of time you have the regulars that come to our Doug, E&P companies, operators, drilling, the whole nine. A lot of new people, and I think that's the best part of bringing in all types of people from all around the industry. Yeah, and that's the best.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I just like having the 2,000 people here. It's the great combination of you get really great speakers. You can sit and just listen to the main stage all day and not get bored, or you can walk out to the exhibition hall and there's so much cool equipment and all out, all the swag you want to pick up.
Yeah. I know. I got my swag bags over there.
It's a really great mix that I think other conferences maybe can't. They do one thing great, not the other, and I like to think we maybe offer that best of both worlds.
Sure. No, and I think y'all do. And first of all, it was packed today. And I had an opportunity to run into Manal earlier, and I call her Manal. It's Manal. Okay, it's Manal.
I didn't want to call you out.
I know it's Manal. I just and she's been always nice.
Always.
And, went into the keynote speaker room, and I swear there was just as many people, if not maybe a little bit more, actually in the keynote listening than actually out and you heard people laughing. I swear you saw tons of people looking real interested, at least at different products. And as an operator, and I've shared this with her before, that it's great to go and look at all the new technologies. I mean, one company had an electric frac mobile. Wow, my mind just blanked right there. My mind just blanked. But they had an electric frac vehicle out there today. And how cool is that? And they were showing it off. And then you had some great people with water, because God knows water is going to be, huge. Especially in West Texas, it's going to be huge. Yeah. Cheers. So, I mean, it's just too awesome what you guys are doing. Let's, other than the Super Doug, let's talk about some of these other conferences that you guys have and highlight some of them for a minute.
Absolutely. So we like tailoring a lot of our conferences focus on ESG, cybersecurity, midstream focus, or even financial conferences to tailor to more CFOs, investment banking, and that niche. So we have very targeted conferences.
Yeah, we're doing more like kind of back-to-back day stuff too, like our energy infrastructure and technology conference and cybersecurity and energy are back-to-back days, June 27th, 28th in Houston.
Okay.
Then we have carbon and ESG strategies at the end of August, also in Houston. But we'll get back up to DFW for October with our Energy Capital Conference and our A&D Strategy and Opportunities Conference in Dallas. That's October 2nd, October 3rd, back-to-back days.
And then you'll also have a golf tournament. No.
Not that I'm aware.
No, that's somebody else. No.
I'm pushing for it.
Y'all need one. I mean, everybody else has one. Don't ask me why I thought y'all did in October. That must be somebody else.
Oh, that's all right.
Brain fart. Sorry.
We also have the Executive Oil Conference. We can't forget that one in Midland. So
Yeah.
that's Permian
November
Basin.
15th, we get back to Midland. It's
Absolutely.
always nice to get out there and actually get to the field and see stuff.
Oh gosh, you know what?
New technologies, and it's great.
Oh man, Midland is where it's at. That's where everybody is, and there's so much going on out there all the time. So yes, and the fact that y'all get out there yourselves with the Hart Energy, it's just awesome. The other thing I want to highlight for a lot of people is the Oil and Gas Investors Magazine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
Guys,
happy to.
how long has that been around?
41 years now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was telling her earlier, I actually did not know until recently that was y'all. Well, maybe last year or so, but that was y'all's publication. And then I even asked. I said, "Did y'all buy it?" Because it's been around forever.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I feel like. I mean, again, my father got into this in the mid '80s. I was born in '84, so I mean, I've seen this magazine for a long time.
Sure.
Yep. No. It's a great magazine. We actually redesigned it last year. It looks new and fresh. The content was always great, but visually it was a little outdated. So now it looks great. But yeah, that's kind of a thing. It's like Hart Energy, Oil and Gas Investor,
Yes.
Doug. 3 decently known brands. I hope more than decently known, but people don't always know they're one and the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, like this month, the May issue of Oil and Gas Investor, it's our cover stories. A sit down with ExxonMobil CEO Darren Woods. So I mean,
Wow.
that was a great exclusive. Our June issue, I guess here's a sneak peek. Not out yet. Feature it's focused on private companies, more producers, and got a cover story with Mewburn Oil, which is kind of the biggest producer
they're
you've
big.
never heard of.
I can't believe you got them on. Like the cover, that's awesome. They're awesome. They're a model for sure.
But they have more active drilling rigs in the Delaware Basin than any other company, more than Devon, more than Oxy, more than Conoco, more than Exxon. I mean,
and they're quiet for the most part. You
intentionally
know what I mean?
so.
Yes, on purpose. And so that's awesome. If I may, how many people get that magazine a month?
Don't have those circulation numbers
Okay,
off the top of my
okay.
head. I got to be honest.
That's okay, but it's a lot.
but
right?
So it's also digital as well. So we
Right.
have certain subscribers that are digital focused and that prefer that
That's
aspect
all
of it.
Really popular in the C-suite, especially. But yeah, you get that. You can buy the online access only if you don't want to get the magazine. But get it all together. Get that OGI Plus bundle, we call it.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Let me plug that.
There you go. That's. Hey, I'd be lying if I were not asking questions for a reason. But y'all have a heck of a conference not over yet.
Nope.
So I know y'all got to keep moving and doing. Where can people find you guys when they're ready to do something with you guys? Where's the best place that they can get you? And if you got any closing words for everybody?
Sure. First off, heartenergylive.com. If you want to link up with me on LinkedIn personally, find me, Manal Foty. And I have all the details on events, any kind of digital media exposure, print media, the works.
Right. And Jordan, you being the editorial guy, and I'm going to be sending you some stuff to check out for me here in the very near future.
Sounds good.
But how can people, any last word for you before y'all continue this whirlwind of a few days? And thank y'all for coming to Fort Worth, by the way.
Yeah. Happy to reach out. via email. jblum at hartenergy.com.
He did it.
JBLUM at hartenergy.com. You can
That's
reach
a
out
to
to me.
last name, so I have to admit.
But yeah, come to hartenergy.com, your one-stop shop for everything. And play around and hopefully subscribe, please.
Absolutely, I know I do, and thank you for continuing to do great journalism. And Jordan, I think it starts at you. I had an opportunity to meet you, and it's awesome what you've been able to do, and I think it definitely trickles down to the rest of your people.
No, thank you. Appreciate it.
And well, no, thank you guys, and thank y'all again for taking a few minutes. And again, everybody out there, please be sure to like, subscribe to the Crude Truth. Check out Hart Energy, and we'll see you next time on another episode of the Crude Truth.
This episode of The Crude Truth is brought to you by Oil and Gas Workers Association, Sandstone Group, Air Compressor Solutions, Basin Fluids, and the Fuel Pros.